You all show him some love. Show him some love while he comes up. For those streaming with us, we welcome Director of Bands, Mr. Cadre Taylor.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, good morning. How you guys doing? All right, we gotta wake up and we here in live, all right? All right. See, we gotta practice now. See, I need you all to get with it, cause see, when the fall hit and that first game hit, we need y'all to make some noise. We can't be sitting looking cute and wait on the touchdown to get hyped. We gotta come with the fire already, all right? So we gotta come with that fire. But I bring you greetings from the band department, Director of Bands, Mr. Cadre Taylor. We're very excited for the fall. Last year we had an opportunity to start back having in-person games, and it was really wonderful. But for the band department on our side, we are definitely excited about the students we have coming in this year. We starting camp tomorrow, so our incoming freshmen will be on campus tomorrow, and we have a lot of our students are returning. So we made a big splash this year in recruiting and retaining our students. So last year we graduated about 40 students that walked across the stage. So for us that was really huge because we had a lot of students that finished the course. So we always practice and preach. You don't come here just for band, you come here for academics as well. So we want to make sure that our students come here and graduate. It's the key. It's good to march in the band, but it's also even better for us to make sure that they graduate. So that is definitely one of our goals, to retain our students, not only recruit them, but retain them and make sure that they graduate. So we had about 40 students that graduated in last spring. So this year we're returning a good amount of our students as well. So that means they will be able to make the grades to come back. So we're gonna have a very large band coming here in the fall. And as you know, that gets expensive. The more students you have, the more money you have to pay per student. So for us, man, we're excited. It's a good problem, but it's still, to move that band, it costs a lot of money. And that's one of the things that we definitely want to make sure that the alums know. So as it relates to going to football games, and when that bus moves, it costs us some money. So we're very excited about the students we have coming to our campus. They're coming from all over, from California, from all over the United States. So we're very excited about the opportunity to have these students come to this campus this week. So you're gonna hear the sounds early in the morning, and you hear the students marching to and from as we normally do. So that's letting you know that we are back in the fall. My favorite time of the year. I love the fall, to hear the band, just to hear the alumni band just now. That's something we're gonna be practicing all week. So by the time the freshmen get ready to meet the upperclassmen, they'll be able to be up to speed with what the alumni band was able to showcase. So one time, give it up for the alumni band. So also, as you know, our fabulous dancing dolls, we are having trials as we speak right now. So they are over in the band hall now. We having trials for our young ladies. So we will have our team get ready to go into the week, and we brought back one of our proud alums, Miss Tracy Prince Green. And Miss Green comes with a lot of accolades, and she's very phenomenal at what she do. So our ladies are gonna look better than ever. So we're looking forward to that as well. So moving forward, guys, we're gonna try to make all of our games this year. We're trying to make sure that we don't miss not one game, because we want to make sure we support our football team, and having the band there and more support. We want to make sure we be at every game. So we definitely starting the year out at the first home game with Florida Memorial coming in. The Jaguar Nation need to be in the place so we can rock the house. Like I said, the band coming with it. We just need to make sure all our fans are there, supporting on both sides. We need to fill the stadium up. And we don't need to talk about it, we need to be about it. So we're gonna lead the charge and making sure we be there. So also the band is performing the National Battle of the Bands, which will be in August in Houston, Texas. So we're starting the season off early, and we're very excited, like I said, and the students are excited. We had a leadership camp on yesterday with our section leaders, and man, we were just talking about being leaders. And we made it a statement about a great leader know how to make others great. It's not about getting the credit, so it's not about Mr. Taylor that leads the band. It's about the students that are in the band, making sure I make a lasting impact on them so they can go out and be great leaders. So we talked about imparting that in every student, and if we can able to do that within our students, they can spread that throughout the student body. So once they graduate, they go do that for our future Jaguars. So it's what you put in is what you get out. If you don't put nothing in, you shouldn't expect nothing out. So that's what we need to do as alum, as students of the game, because we need to make sure we imparting a lot in our community, in our students, and in our young people. We can cut down on a lot of the crime if we stop turning our backs when somebody makes a mistake. So I just told the students, like, we're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. So in order for us to grow from those mistakes, we gotta make sure that we understand that no matter where you go and what you do in life, nothing's gonna be perfect. So it's all in how we adapt to those things. So we talked about being leaders all day yesterday, and I'm telling you right now, all great leaders know how to empower others. empowering your staff and empowering the people around you. And I think we can all rise together if we stick together, and that's what it's all about. As alum, we got to stick together. We might not like all the decisions, but guess what? It's our job to support, no matter what. Always support the students, because they are the ones that are here making this thing happen for us. And if, without the students, there is no Southern University. So we got to keep that in mind, that what are we doing now for our students that are currently here? We've done our time. We had our time here on the yard, and we had a great time. But in order to make sure that they have the time that they deserve on this campus, we got to continue to give. And we know we always talk about giving and all of that, but everything is going up now. So, you know, the cost of living is going up. Our paychecks might not be going up, but the cost of living definitely going up. But we very excited about this season, guys. And like I said before, there is nothing, if you call on the Southern University Human Jukebox, that we're not going to be there and make sure we be who we are. We pride ourselves on being better than our last performance, and that's one of the things that we're sticking with. The legacy here is huge. I've been all over the country this summer, and everybody talks about the Southern University Human Jukebox and what it is that they can bring to the table. So, man, we don't take it lightly at all. What that brand means is not, I definitely didn't start it, but my task is to keep it going. But we need your support, and whatever way that may be, we definitely need you guys, whether that's giving water, whatever you feel that the students may need, we'll take it. Nothing is too small. We definitely accept all things, and we definitely want you all to know that we appreciate it. So, if you have any questions about anything we have coming up, I'll definitely answer your questions. Whatever you may have, just, you know, if I can answer them, answer to the best of my ability. No questions? Oh. Oh.
I've had people ask me, and recently, that for the LSU game, he would be like a whole halftime show, by the way. We got first in that game, the first game at Southern LSU.
Oh, well, I have some conversations with Dr. Jones. We really good friends. We pretty much came up together as far as director. So it's huge that he's the director of the marching band for LSU. And we talked about it, so we definitely going to perform first, and they're going to come behind us and perform as well.
People want to know if you're able to put a song.
We're going to play the sleeves off Nick at the LSU game. I'm great. How you doing? Well, that's a good question. With the way things are now, I would rather be there with the students. I don't want to have them going different places and I'm not there present. So just to answer your question, we like to definitely stay together. When we leave this campus, if bus 4 or 5 break down, we all stop. We don't leave one another. So just to answer your question, we all stay together. So I don't want to split them up just for liability purposes. We have 108 to be exact. We have 108 freshmen coming in.
Morning.
Good morning. How you doing? Well, this is again on paper. This is one of our largest classes. Hopefully make sure all of our incoming freshmen do handle their business. We've been talking to them on Zoom and everything, but this is supposed to be our largest class, so this will be our biggest woo-win section that we've probably had in history. We got about 20 piccolos, 19 clarinets, and we got 20 saxophones. So we have over 50 trumpets. We got we got about 56. So we definitely rolling. We definitely rolling. So we got some great numbers. We recruited really hard. We saw about 500 students, and we didn't get all 500 because of because of the budget. But all of them wanted to come to Southern University. But I mean, some of these other schools offering a lot of money. So that's been our struggle with scholarship money. Parents not looking at. We have one of the cheapest tuitions out of the HBCUs. They looking at how much money the other schools offer. So it's hard for us to compete in them. You try to break the numbers down to them, but they just see that the big number, and they add out-of-state fees and that. So by us, if you have a 2.5 here at Southern University, they automatically waive your out-of-state fee. So we can't use that no more. That's what Dr. Grace used to use when we were coming up. So we're not able to use that anymore. So a lot of the students looking at the overall amount that other schools are able to offer. So that kind of put us behind the 8 ball, but we able to get what we need, so we're gonna be okay.
I have a question. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your entire team for looking after our chat. Once upon a time, not long ago, you all asked for assistance in band form, band instrument. What is your current ask from the
That's an awesome question. I think every department on campus have the same issues. Like I just spoke to, we definitely need more scholarship money, and we know our state as a whole is in a deficit, so it suffers at the higher education level. So we still working on the same budget that when I was in school. Without the student referendum, we would really be behind. But a lot of our finances are based on the students, which is not the most logical thing because we asking the students to pay more money in tuition to support the organizations. But for us as a department, our facilities are falling apart. And the maintenance, they're doing the best they can with it. Our roof is leaking. They want to fix those things, but we getting new equipment. Like we just got about $300,000 worth of equipment that is getting wet. So we're moving around that, and they working to get us a fix for it. But our facilities falling apart. That band room has served its time. It's built in 1984, and it really has served its time. The band has outgrown the band room. It's really a fire hazard for how many students we have in there because we wall to wall, and we need a bigger facility for sure. So that's one of the things that we definitely working on for us. So you definitely hear from that soon. We have a building project that we are working on to make sure that we have the facility we need for our students. But an immediate thing we need right now is scholarship money. I went $200K over our budget, so I'm going out now, making sure we seek out to get some donors, because we need to continue to be, what word I want to use, the right word. We want to be competitive with the other universities. When you see the Human Jukebox, we've always had the best musicians out of all these HBCUs, even PWIs. I'll put our student musicians up to anybody. But nowadays, some of the worst players want the top dollars like they Michael Jordan. And, you don't want to tell a student that they're not Michael Jordan because you want to continue to encourage them. But the top students are going to universities who are able to give them full scholarships. And I keep telling them there's no such thing as a full scholarship in band because tuition is very expensive. To go to LSU with one semester is $24,000. They give every student $1,000 to be a Tiger Marching Band. So the rest of the money they got to come up with. So I'm telling them that any other school, there's no way possible you can get a full scholarship. So for us, we got to try to go out and help with scholarship dollars. So scholarships are very, very for us. We need more money for scholarships. So immediate need would be scholarships, and definitely we're gonna need some help traveling. Our travel budget, we're working on that now, but we're gonna make it work. So we definitely, donations, you can definitely send them to the foundation to help the Southern University Human Box with all of those things. A lot of people, look for us to go to all the games, but sometimes we can't make some of the further games because those games cost more money. So a lot of people, ask, we going to Arkansas? It's not that we don't want to go, because I grew up as an athlete. If you look at my height, of course, I chose the right profession. So, but I love sports. So for me, I want to make all of the games, but sometimes our budget won't allow it. sometimes our budget won't allow, but we definitely want to make all the games. Okay. All right. So number one, definitely scholarship dollars, and number two, definitely help with travel. But we're gonna make it work. So like I said, we got different donors that want to give to help out, but they just want to, have a conversation, see where exactly that money will go, being transparent. So, but we do need help with those dollars for scholarships. Every year, if y'all want to name a band of scholarship for alums, hey, we definitely take it because, like I said, we want to be competitive with the other universities and our counterparts. And just talking to other directors and hearing that budget for scholarship is just amazing. When they say they got $1 million budget, and I'm like, y'all band don't sound $1 million, but it's we make it work. We work very hard in that department, and I know people think it's like turning on a light switch, but it's definitely not. We spend a lot of time in the band room making sure that those students are equipped for these events. So when people call the band to come, the alum, they had to practice. You don't just pick up an instrument and start playing. Just like a game of basketball or football, you're not gonna just go out there and start a game and don't train. So we train very hard. We have a staff that we work with. The staff work very hard, making sure that those students are equipped for these events. So definitely finances with scholarship dollars and a better facility. Definitely, that would make more students want to come to Southern University.
Real quick, this is Carlton Jones. Anybody have a question or they want to know about the past life or I did have a question. I understand you have moving dates coming up soon. What other dates are important to the band that we need to be aware of that open to the public events that we can find the band coming up soon?
So that's a great question. I mentioned the National Battle of the Bands that will be in Houston, Texas, the end of the month. That'll be a great event for you all to come out and support. They have about 7 other college bands that will be in attendance, and that's going to be the first performance from the full entire band. But that's an important date. But we have a few events that's coming up that I need to solidify a few dates on, but I definitely I promise you we'll get it out to you guys because it'll be something that you definitely will want to be a part of in helping aid our students in the things that we're talking about right now. So I definitely get those dates to you. I'm just making sure we have all of our things put in place so I won't put the date out there and then it won't happen. So definitely those dates are coming up very soon.
So, Mr. Taylor, over the years, the alumni from different cities have had the opportunity to support the band when you all have come to our cities to recruit local students. And so we want to give a shout out to all of our cities that have done that and supported and just to say thank you because it really has made a difference. We've done it also with our Department of Athletics, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Do we want to engage? Is there someone that we can talk to within your staff, your organization, as we're preparing for the fall to get ahead of those conversations now? For those cities where we're going back to Dallas, Jackson, those places where we do have active alumni on the ground.
So again, that's a great question, and I definitely want to thank all the alum that contribute because we don't get to come out and talk as much as we would like. Any chance I get to come out to speak, I definitely will come, but we're very busy, so it kind of makes our schedule tight. But we definitely appreciate the alum because a lot of alum give to the Southern University Human Jukebox. Like we've had cases and cases of water. Guess what? We need them again because we want to keep these students hydrated. It's very hot outside. Even at nighttime, it's extremely hot. So as we come to the games with those wool suits on, we want to make sure that we keep them hydrated. So if we're definitely coming to the city, I know we're going to Dallas, we're going to Jackson, Mississippi, and we're going to Tallahassee. So as we go to those different cities, we definitely would love to, if you guys can contribute to helping keep the students hydrated, that will go a long way. Poway, they just need water, something that's going to stay in their system out, nothing with sugar. So water be great. We definitely like to keep them hydrated as we go because it's been extremely hot. I don't know when it's going to cool down. But I know for sure when we go to Dallas, the game is starting at 4 o'clock. It's going to be very hot in Dallas, and I know the temps in Texas have been over 100 degrees. So keeping them safe while we're at the game is important.
Hi. Volleyball Jackson alumni. You said water is one thing that you need. So what are some other things that we can have when the jukebox comes to Jackson? Water, what other necessities would you all like?
Well, we try to keep any of, if you would like to get them snacks, we try to keep all of that away because a lot of times we don't have anywhere to throw it away. So I don't want to mess up the buses because we want to make sure we keep them clean. But for sure, the water aspect of going to Jackson, or we can make sure we bring our police with us because they don't like to let us in the gate. So if y'all got some security waiting at the gate, so make sure Mr. Taylor don't get locked up.
They are a little uncouth.
Hey, they will not let you in that gate. I'm like, well, it's fans in the gate, why we can't come in? But they won't let you come in until they band come in. But we always joke about that with the other directors because they know they told them that. But they won't let the band come through the gate, so we just wait on the bus till they go in because I don't want no problems. But no, seriously though, water be fine. They don't need anything else, snacks like that because they eat before we go in and we feed them after they come out. So anything else, we be okay. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. As far as recruitment, as we're out on our students, recruiting students and to identify talent for the band, who could we contact first and what type of information should we be passing along to them as far as auditions, et cetera?
Well, you definitely can email me. My email is on the site, so they can go. We made it very simple for students to sign up. SUHumanJukebox.com. That's our website. All the information is on there. The easiest way, so to sign up for the band, they just click join. And once you click join, it'll take you to a site where we get all of that information. So it'll be their first and last name, and definitely the email address and phone number. And it'll notify us, send us a text message that a student signed up to join the Southern University Human Jukebox, and we communicate with them from there. So it's an easy process. So our website, SUHumanJukebox.com, go click on join. Once they click on join, it's going to ask for all of their information. So we made it easy as possible because we missed out on a lot of students not being able to get in contact with us from different places. Because a lot of students, they're not good enough to play in the band, and they don't realize that everybody in the band not Michael Jordan. You need that glue as well, so to make all of the pieces work. So we definitely have a standard, but all great students, we want to make sure that they come to Southern University.
Any other questions? All right, well, thanks so much.
Okay.
Before
Before I go, I want to make sure that guys, we got social media presence on all of our sites. That's the new wave for the time we're in. So I know we used to flyers and things like that, but most of the activity that happens is on all our social media pages. So please follow those pages and share them so we can get our social media buzz going. Because the new generation, they more on what they can see at that moment. So definitely go follow all our pages on Facebook, Instagram, all of the same SU Human Jukebox, and you'll be able to find all of our pages. You'll be able to keep up with everywhere we may go, all of our activities. So we also have where you can buy apparel, SUHumanJukebox.gear. So that'll be great if you can go and purchase some gear off of that our website. So thank you again, and hey, listen, when that band start playing, I don't want to look to the left and my right, and y'all sitting down looking at us and waiting for us to catch y'all on fire. We got to bring that fire to Marvel State. Let's go. All right, go Jazz.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr. Taylor. Y'all show some
Love. We are also streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and so we're excited to have everyone that's out with us. So if we can get our NOCCI team, you all get ready for the Bayou Classic update, and we have a couple of little things we need to do to get them connected here through the screen. So give us 1 minute.
should say sizzle, and then I'll come up after that, and then we have the experience of power. Right? That's the sizzle.
We may be done now. Do you want us to show this video? Which I gonna have. I'm gonna have to play both because this is streaming, this is for inside.
We're gonna do this and then we come back to that one. Good morning, Jaguar Nation. Okay, you know, with any time that we're having any technical things happen, we have to have help. So, good morning, Jaguar Nation. I know y'all can do better than that. We are getting ready. So, Madam President, thank you for welcoming us today and the invitation. Just to give you a little history, it is indeed our honor to be here on behalf of NOCCI team, and we are the team that will present to you the Bayou Classic. We were with you last year virtually, and now we're back here this year to promote the 49th Bayou Classic. Our team is led by our President CEO, Dept, and the executive of the Bayou Classic. NOCCI does a multitude of planning to include the Bayou Classic. And the Bayou Classic is just not an event, it is an experience. Yes, I said experience, and you all know what that is. With me today is Mallory Lewis, and she's our Bayou Classic Overall Operation Manager. But before I go to Mallory, I want to let you know that Dottie had planned to join us today and then by Zoom, but she is out ill, and so we know with everything going around, we all have to be extremely cautious. Joining us later on in the presentation will be our fearless and knowledgeable sponsorship director, Susan Landry, who will join us by Zoom. Right now, Jaguar Nation, let's welcome Mallory Lewis, who's going to talk about the Bayou Classic overall operation.
Good morning, Jaguar Nation. My name is Mallory Lewis. I am an operations manager with NOCCI, and I will be serving as the overall operations manager for the Bayou Classic. What that means is all elements of Bayou Classic, I will work with our executive director, Dept, to ensure that everything is executed properly. From the press conference to the Battle of the Bands to game day and everything in between. We will do our best to make sure that we continue to grow and execute #1 of all HBCU classics in the nation. So again, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all for the 49th Annual Bayou Classic.
Thank you, Mallory. And And so now we have a presentation for you. We will chime in as necessary. This presentation will talk about the Bayou Classic, leading up to the 49th celebration, what to expect. And so in some of my notes, I'll just tell you now, I wrote down to expect a no-sleep weekend. Get your rest now. We have a full week of activities. And you know that while we are experiencing the power of Bayou Classic, we are still about scholarship and education for both universities. We at NOCCI share the gold, G-O-L-D, and the goals, G-O-A-L-S, of our two universities. We once again want to reiterate that we are about scholarship, education, and promoting the best of the best from Southern University and Grambling State University. Stay tuned and get ready for the presentation.
So we are happy to announce to Jaguar Nation that once again, P&G Procter & Gamble will be our presenting sponsor for the 49th Annual Bayou Classic. So let's give them a round of applause. So this will be the 6th year that P&G will be sponsoring Bayou Classic. And we want to thank each of you and ask that you continue to support these brands. Some of the brands that will be a part of Bayou Classic will be Press, Old Spice, Cascade Platinum, Game Sling Laundry Detergent Pads, Febreze, Microban, Game Dish, Dawn Dish, Aussie, and Next of Us. So we ask P&G that each year that they give us some samples for each of you, and you all will be able to sample these products at the hotels. They will be showcased at the Hyatt, the Hilton, the Marriott, the Sheraton, and JW Hotels.
Next slide, please. Bayou Classic Press Conference. And so that is open to the public. We kick that off every year on that Monday, which this year will be November 21st. Both coaches and members of their staff are normally there with athletic directors and our local and state officials to talk about the historic event that's going to take place. The coaches luncheon. Let's be clear. That is invitation only. We would love for everybody to come, but I would have to yield to our coaches and our athletic directors because the teams at that event are being showcased. They are the ones to receive scholarships and all accolades. Therefore, because it is a team event, whatever questions you have, since I know the coach is coming up next, I will yield all of that to him and his staff about the coaches luncheon. But it is a very good event to see. If you would just like to come to the hotel and watch the young men walk through the lobby and see how good they look representing you and our university, that would be wonderful to support and cheer them on. Battle of the Band, Bayou Classic and Greek Show. So we know that this is kicking off that Friday night and the doors open up at 6 o'clock. We are planning a great event for the Battle of the Band and Greek shows. How many members of the Divine Nine we have in here? I know I saw some Deltas and some, see, there they go. You can't even, I know I saw my Star Wars of Alpha, Kappa Alpha in here. But anywho, there we go, yes. Anyway, that's a great time to come out and support your sorority and fraternity. They put on a great show. They compete for prize monies. As we know, any scholarship monies raised for young people is what we are trying to do. The Battle of the Band is something you don't want to miss. The Human Jukebox, I tell you, we talk about these alumni members that were here playing in the Human Jukebox. Look, I was afraid to have to come up after y'all to talk. I was so glad that the band director came up before me because pressure was on. I want to give a congratulatory clap to the alumni members of the Human Jukebox. Yeah. Y'all were awesome. And don't tell me about the dancing dolls because I will put them up against a whole lot of people right now. Anywho, don't forget to get your tickets now. Tickets are on sale, so let's get things started early so we can represent both institutions by showing this is our game. Next slide, please. Bayou Classic Parade. Well, we are working on a time change. We know that the Bayou Classic is the premier game for HBCUs. It's just not about Southern and Grambling. We are and will be the grandfather of all football games. Let's be clear, NBC is back again, and we deserve every right to be on NBC. With that being said, that means our timing has changed. And when time changes, we have to push everything either back or up. So the parade is being pushed up to 9:30. That's why I told y'all it's a 48-hour, no sleep weekend. If you're gonna party all night Friday, get up Saturday morning, be at the parade to support the band as we journey on down to the next event. Bayou Classic Fan Fest. And that's where we're hoping to end everything. It's at the Fan Fest. We're still working on details, so it may not end at the Fan Fest, but know that there will be a Fan Fest. And for any of you in this room who has ever been to the Bayou Classic Fan Fest, it is something that you do not want to miss. We have vendors, we have different people who are there to talk to students. You have a basically live concert before you go into a football game, if you will. And it's just a good time. It's exciting, and we have new sponsor activation. So stay tuned for the 2022 Fun Fest lineup. And now, the prize. It's called Experience. Experience the Bayou Classic. Our new kickoff time, as you can see, is 1 o'clock. No sleep weekend. You may get your tickets now, and we will have information for you throughout not only this conference, but homecoming. Mr. AD and Coach will be back for homecoming to promote the Bayou Classic to those alumni and students who may not be here today but watching by Zoom. Know that you can get your tickets now. You can go on the website. We will have our Q code up. It should be up to purchase tickets. Ticket sales for the football game and the Battle of the Band Greek Show is very important. That is how we know what to plan for and what to do. Now, I know you all look for other activities, and we are still working on that, but the meat of this event is the football game. And so we want to make sure that everybody's prepared for the 49th annual Bayou Classic. It's going to be back on NBC, which is very great. And so this partnership with NBC and Bayou Classic, we mark with the national marketing of 32 years of the partnership between NBC Sports and the Bayou Classic. We are the home team, so it tells you where we can find our tickets at this time. And once again, this game is being presented by Procter & Gamble. The halftime show. I think we probably can recruit some of the alumni band members to come back, but I don't know what would happen if we did that, because we really would have an advantage. But the Bayou Classic halftime show is being presented by Coca-Cola. So please patronize Coca-Cola, because they are making sure that we have a great halftime show. I know both bands are getting prepared, because I can see today by our alumni band and listening to our band director, Southern University will be prepared, and trust me, when we do this presentation to Grambling, we will let them know that y'all said y'all coming. Just a side note. Next slide, please. There's your mobile app. Everything you want to know, need to know, want to find out, every question about the Bayou Classic is on our mobile app. You can download it. There's the QR code. You can scan it. We are trying to be up to technology, just like the band director just stated. We know that our younger adults don't want paper, don't like paper. I believe in cutting down trees, so I'm still a paper child. But I also know that we have to convert to what our audience want, and that is everything through technology. So know that you can download our app, and we're ready to go. Hotels. We have 30 hotels plus to choose from in the greater New Orleans area. Now, let's be clear, and I'm going to get closer to this mic so everybody Zooming can hear. NOCCI does not sign the contracts for hotels. That is done by the universities or the university foundations. Grambling has their host through their foundation, and so does Southern. We listen to and welcome your suggestions, but all hotel accommodations are done through the universities. So I suggest you make your reservations early. It's better to make them now than to look for them later, to know that you have a cancellation policy. I think it's about 30 days or 15 days before the event. Let's do our due diligence and make our reservations early. I would ask every alumni president here, whether you're from LA, and not Louisiana, but Los Angeles, Jackson, Dallas, wherever you're traveling from, please encourage your members to make their reservations early so that they are not in a panic and calling you 48 hours before it's time to go to New Orleans. Tickets. I know this is something that the AD probably want me to talk about, but I can't. But what I can tell you is the ticket office has tickets. What I can tell you that there is a scan, there's a QR code, QR code? Thank you, QR code that says scan me. Just like when we go to the grocery store and we scan to see how much those items gonna cost, and when you go to Neiman's and Dillard's, you scan before you purchase. Please scan this code so that you can get your tickets now for your family and friends. We know we like to sit together so we can clown together, cheer together, and maybe cry together. But scan your codes now so that you can have your tickets. They're on sale. It's not no 10% off or no 50% off. It's full cost. So don't call the coach and the AD director. Just know that we have to pay. And understand again, these funds go back to the university. We talk about scholarship. We talk about all the things that the students need. The band director just told you his needs. I know the AD and the coach are going to tell you about their needs. Only way we can help them to meet their needs is to purchase our tickets for each event at full price. That was a Tari Bradford commercial point. Thank you very much. Okay, on-campus activities. We all know about Southern University's homecoming, October 22nd. As I just told the coach and the AD, we will be here. Hopefully, Robin, we will have the same tent we had last year right by the nursing school to promote Bayou Classic. And we are looking forward to being here to celebrate with Southern University. As you see, we have brought you some items such as luggage tags, which is something new we're helping to promote Bayou Classic with. And we will also have those. Mallory and I have our business cards out. So if you have questions about Bayou Classic, we will do our due diligence in making sure that you get the proper answer that you need. But we will be here for homecoming, and we're looking forward to it. A look back at Bayou Classic. So you see a lot of activities. One thing we did new last year is that we had the Special Olympic Louisiana rivalry game. And so we worked very good with the Louisiana State Office for the Special Olympics. The first time we ever had the game, thank you to our athletic department and the people who work with the teams up here with our youth who may have some sort of disability, but it's not a disability. And so they had a great time playing flag football. It got started about 8 o'clock that morning. And so we want to thank everyone for their assistance because these young people also, Coach, had a chance to come to the Bayou Classic football game. So on behalf of NOCCI, we were very privileged to invite them after their game to a Bayou Classic. Many of them had never been to a Bayou Classic. So just imagine about 30 young people being there for their first time. When both teams came out, you would have sworn that they were y'all new best friends because they were cheering their little hearts out. They cheered so hard that I heard they had to go home and go to bed because they was just tired. They had a no-sleep weekend for one day. But please know that we're looking forward to that. You see the media coverage from the press conference, which was great. You see footage from the Superdome, Caesar Superdome, that is, which is great. And if you have not been there, it's a fabulous place. They really put in some money, and it really represents not only Southern and Grambling, but the state of Louisiana. You see shots or pictures from our activation at Fan Fest, as well as the press conference where we did have actually the game, where we had the governor, the congressman, the mayor, and at that time, Representative Ted Jamison, who's now the Director of Small Business Administration. So know that NOCCI believe in making all governmental entities work the best that we can get them to work together when it comes to promoting this great rivalry football game. So that concludes the presentation from NOCCI about Bayou Classic. This is the 49th, and yes, we are gonna get past this and it's gonna be great, and we are already looking forward to the future, which is called the 50th. But I would like for all of you to make your commitment to not only support this game, but to do all that you can in your chapters to get them activated, involved, and ready to be in Louisiana the week of November 21st. Those who can make it a full week, we'll love it. Those who can only make it for the weekend, we're glad. But know that we need you to get your tickets now. And if there are any questions you have for Mallory and I, we would do our best to answer them. And if we can't have your answer today, we will get your email, text message, but you will have an answer as it pertains to the 49th Bayou Classic. Thank you for your attention.
Do we have any questions? Any questions? Oh, I see one in the back. Hold on.
Do we get a little assistance on getting the app
Oh,
on the phone?
okay.
It's showing up the 48 annual, so I'm not sure if it's the right one.
So that is the correct app. We are actually still in negotiations on what elements we'll be updating for the app. So as of right now, we left everything with the 48th as a placeholder. So once we update, everything will be there. We're tentatively looking to have everything updated by the end of August, but no later than the middle of September. So that is the correct place. So if you download and you see the 48, it is the correct app. It hasn't been updated because all of the events are not confirmed.
Good morning. My question is about ticket prices. Are the ticket prices about the same or going up a little bit?
Well, as with everything is going up right now. We have tried to make sure that the price increase isn't a major jump, but yes, there will be a slight increase.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you for your presentation. Alicia Jones, Los Angeles chapter. Do you have any information about the suites for the Classic? I do have a few members that are interested in purchasing a suite.
So suites are going through the dome. We don't have that information at this time. We only have ticket information. I can get your contact information and keep in contact with you when something comes to me, and then I'll let you know where we are with suites. But that's not something that we normally handle. You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I just do have one question about the ticket prices. Like when I scanned and it came up, is it a reason it only gave that 142 section in the middle?
That may be an app error. I'll have to check that. Can you show me what you're looking at, and then I can look at that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you all.
Again, thank you, and on behalf of NOCCI, we look forward to seeing you. Please note that whatever changes happen, we will make them on the website so that you're not blindsided. In all respect to all the policies and procedures for the Dome, NFL, and whatever is dictated by the state of Louisiana as well as Southern University and Grambling, we follow all of those protocols when it comes to making sure that we protect you, our fans, and our students. So again, thank you. And one more from Mallory, and we're gonna be out of your hair.
So we just looked at the ticket error. That is something with Ticketmaster, so thank you for calling that out. We'll get that fixed, so once everybody gets online, we'll get that for you.
Thanks again. Let's go teams.
Well, y'all know, we work for both of y'all, so we are politically correct, nonpartisan. Let's go teams.
Go Jags. That's what I have to say. All right, so we're going to transition Where's my DJ? DJ, can you give us some good transition music? So we're going to ask the Department of Athletics to come on up. Y'all show some love. We got a good representation of our coaches out here today for our virtual conference. And for those that are listening in, we are transitioning and we're going to pull the screen up so that we can get an opportunity to engage with our coaches. DJ, what you got for us? So y'all can get up and move a little bit while we're transitioning.
Five for football, and also Go Jag Sports. You can go to the Jaguar Sports Network. Of course, first of all, the first person I want to bring up here and welcome all the alumni here to the Cecilia Ballroom, Athletic Director Roman Banks. All right, Athletic Director Roman Banks, you've been a part of Southern University Shreveport as assistant basketball coach, Southern University assistant basketball coach here in Baton Rouge. Then you came back to be the head coach, and now you're athletic director. What is it? 6 years now you've been AD?
Five.
This is your sixth season. Okay, wow, unbelievable. Coach, a lot of things. A lot of fans have been asking me the question about the expansion. Obviously, college football is going crazy. Looks like there could be 3 major conferences at one point. And the SUAF is looking to expand. We've got 2 new teams now with Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M. So, and there's talks about maybe even more expanding. How will it affect Southern University? And not only that, a lot of people are wondering how will it affect the rivalries that Southern University has.
Yeah, so actually, first of all, I want to acknowledge the commissioner, Coach Charles McCullum. I think he's doing a great job as commissioner of the SWAC. Since he's been there over the last several years, we have grown. And we've been able to transform the SWAC into a brand now. When I first took over, everybody was wondering, well, we're still going to be here. Schools were talking about leaving, going to the Southland, being independent. And so with that vision and a team of good athletic directors, that has changed. But what took place of adding the 2 teams in Florida, Bethune-Cookman and FAM, really added another brand and another layer to our conference. Particularly with FAM, for Southern University, it was already a rivalry game contest. And so what you have now, you have really challenged the campuses to do more for their departments because it's got very competitive. And everybody is trying to invest so they can be the one at the top, right? And so you see these new personalities and these new coaches that are being hired and what you have to put into your facilities and prepare yourself academically to keep the team matriculating healthy, right? And so we don't know as it relates to other schools coming in at this time if that's the right thing to do. Travel's gone up. We need to make these adjustments. And also, if we bring in another team, it will throw the balance off. So if we were able to do something else, then my vote would say we have to do 2 teams. And but right now, I think we're in a perfect landing place. And so I just believe that if we keep going where we're headed, and we're talking about getting a TV contract, where that would keep us in the game if we're able to land these TV contracts, typically because our basketball contest is so strong day in and day out on Saturdays. It's no other sports besides, no other we've talked about giving ourselves a chance to move up to the next level, where when you start moving up to the next level, then it creates, at the FBCS level, it creates another opportunity, a pool of money that you start financing yourself, and it would help us all at that point.
Right now, as far as NIL goes, each state is different. Now the state of Louisiana changed something in the legislation. How does NIL now, how does Southern University deal with NIL now?
Very difficult situation for not only Southern University, but all of us at our level. All the smaller schools at our state and our state, we simply really not in the era of competing with those type of name, image, and likeness deals. More important to me, what I would like to see happen is that we're able to add a cost of attendance. And cost of attendance means that every student athlete that comes to Southern University will get a stipend. And so I don't think that you can talk about name, image, and likeness until you start talking about cost of attendance. So that means if Roman Banks come to Southern University and I'm on the baseball team, then there's a stipend of $2,000 I get a semester. And that's for every student athlete. I think for us, you start talking about giving one student athlete a name, image, and likeness deal, and he's the star quarterback, and he getting $100,000, but I'm the 5 lineman, and then I'm blocking for him on the defensive line. I think that can cause some contentious moments, and so you know you have to be careful in that area. But for me, I'm thinking about taking care of each student athlete. They're all important, and so name, image, and likeness is something that we are trying to raise money for, something that we are trying to add to our portfolio here, because now I'm not singling out a student athlete, we're taking care of everyone.
So last question I want to ask you before we get our coaches up here. What is going to be the policy? I know that COVID restrictions have come down a little bit, nationwide, statewide. What will the protocols be for games this year at the Southern University venues, as well as bag policies?
Yeah, so it goes back to where we ended up. Is masks are not required, they are optional. And we will have 100% capacity in the stadium. You know, we do operate a clear bag policy. Now, if the state rules and regulations change, then we will have to conform to the state as the recommendation. But as of right now, we can go 100% capacity inside and outside.
All right, thank you, Athletic Director Roman Banks. Thank you very much. All right, now we'll bring up the football coach, Eric Dooley. Coach Dooley, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good morning to everyone.
Always, your feet have been moving ever since you signed here to be the next head coach at Southern University. Here at 14 seasons with Coach Pete Richardson as assistant coach. How does it feel to be back at campus?
Well, I feel great, and it's very, very exciting to be back, to come back to a place where you know you're welcome.
Yeah, and how, of course, first question that some people are going to ask, quarterback situation. How is the quarterback battle going on right now?
I think it's going along great right now. We love the competition that's in the room, so we feel real comfortable with and confident with whoever comes out of that room is going to be able to lead us to where we want to go.
And I know Coach Miller and him's trying to get the pride back in the defense, the dog day D that used to be years ago in the Pete Richardson era.
Yes, sir. I think we got some guys there that can bring that back. The coaches certainly is there, and the players that we're able to get throughout the recruiting process. So we're confident in what we have bringing to the table.
Any questions from the alumni out there? Raise your hand if you have a question for Coach Dooley. Nope. Here it is right here.
Right.
Hello, good evening, or good morning. Brenda Hayes Williams with Jackson, Mississippi, chapter president. Are you all ready for Jackson State? They have gotten a little more, I told some of the people there that, you know, you you all have won a few games. Now you got a big head. But Southern will be ready to play, and so I hope I'm not speaking. I hope you all are ready to beat Jackson State.
Well, I can answer that question. Southern University is ready for Florida Memorial, which is that first game. Once we cross that bridge, we'll be ready for that game as well.
Okay, a few more questions in the room.
Good morning, Coach. My name is Lionel Collins. I'm president of the Norbury chapter. What was it looking like for the defensive back? Because, man, it was catching all over last season. It was just pitiful.
Well, good morning. I think we addressed that immediately when we got here. We knew what we needed to, the needs of our team. So we went out and we signed, right now we signed 9 defensive backs, but we're confident in the guys that we have here and the guys that were here. I think this was the aspect of getting them to understand what we wanted to get out of them. And they had some good young men that were here already, and we brought some guys here to help that situation a lot better. So I feel real good in what we have in our secondary.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Question, with us playing LSU, how are we preparing our Jaguars mentally to play a team at that level, and also concerned with their safety in that level?
You know, you guys are asking some great questions, but the only team that I'm concerned with right now is Florida Memorial, because that's our first game. I can tell you this year, we're going to be prepared mentally regardless of who we play. That's why we have the motto of spot the ball. It doesn't matter where it is or who we play, we'll be ready to play.
Good morning, Coach. Thank you for coming back home. I look forward to cheering the Jaguars on. My question is similar to the question I asked the band director. What is your current ask of the alumni? And I know previous to your administration, the ask once was we needed blazers, we needed neckties, we needed whatever, nutrition. And the alumni stepped up and we made it happen. No promises, but we need to know what your current ask is.
You know, we have some needs. Me and AD Banks have been discussing it, and I'm a kind of guy that I know you have to ask. I'm a little private. I just don't like to just say out a lot of things. I like to meet with individuals to tell them what's going on, because a lot of times when you broadcast, you could hurt yourself more than help yourself. But we do have some needs, and working with, excuse me, I got to say Coach Banks. I don't feel right saying AD Banks, but I know he's AD. But Coach Banks and I, we've been discussing some things that we got to get just to come up to part, just to help our facilities to be in the game for us recruiting-wise.
Any other questions? All right, last question I've got for him. September 3rd, as you said, your first game of 2022, also a special moment for you. That's when the unveiling of the Coach Pete Richardson name will be on the floor of A.W. Mumford Stadium. What does that mean for you? Not only now to be here for Coach Pete Richardson Classic, but to see his name on that football field.
You know, I couldn't ask for a better situation. You know, a lot of times when, first of all, when they named the field after him, I felt like I was left out because I wasn't able there to be a part of it when they were talking about naming the field. But now having the opportunity not only to be a part of it, but to lead the team out for him and for that situation, I'm very, very excited. I know a lot of guys are excited because I brought some guys back that are coaching with us that also played for him and coached with him. So it's an exciting moment for us, but we do understand the situation, and I think it's going to be exciting for him as well.
No question. Coach Eric Dooley, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Vanessa Jacobs from the volleyball team is in the house right now. And Coach, I've always said this, you know, when I'm PAing on the microphone, emceeing for the games and what have you, also the broadcast, I've told you, it's the best kept secret. One of the most exciting sporting events I have seen. I was so happy to see it. My first volleyball game I ever attended was here, watching your young athletes play. It's just amazing. If you've never been, all the alumni, whether you're from Los Angeles, Jackson, Mississippi, or wherever, If you've never been to a volleyball game, you owe it to yourself to come and cheer and see the excitement. It's constant. The fans are going crazy the whole time. It is a fun event, Coach Vanessa Jacobs. You've been here at Southern University for a while now, and what does it mean for your team as we get ready for the fall here coming soon?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here, and it means everything. Like, everything we do is for the Jaguar Nation. We want to put a strong, firm product on the court so that it makes everyone proud. And bringing the kids that we're bringing in this year, I think we're definitely going to do that.
At Clifford Seymour Gymnasium, tell us about the atmosphere there at Clifford Seymour Gymnasium.
Oh man, the fan engagement, just the community engagement, we are working with Marlon, getting a lot of publicity out there so that we can have a lot of people in our gym. I was going to say stadium. But I think of volleyball just like we think of football and baseball and how we prepare. Our student athletes, just like football and baseball, they have a pitcher and a quarterback that really determines how the game is going to perform or how well we're going to do. In volleyball, we have a setter who takes the reins, who is the leader of the offense. And so we have a lot of kids coming, and I am super excited to put out that on the 19th of August that we are going to have a blue and gold game. Yeah, so we'll get a lot of people out there to see how hard we've been working. So I'm really excited about that.
And I know that it takes a lot to be successful in sports. As for the question for the alumni, what do you need as far as your sport goes? I know there's tons of volleyballs that you ladies use before each game and what have you. You got to have also very good, volleyball games for the games itself. So what do you need from the alumni?
Their support. And I think if they were to come to our practices, they would see exactly what we need.
And like I said, if you've never been, it's a fun event. Get your tickets and go and support Southern University Lady Volleyball. Thank you, Coach Vanessa Jacobs.
Thank you.
All right, now we have the Lady Jaguar basketball coach, Carlos Funches, in the house. Bring it up. Carlos Funches named his rookie season as the Rookie Coach of the Year nationwide as they went on to the NCAA tournament, won the SUAF championship regular season and tournament title. Coach, I know, and he told me, he sent me his schedule just a moment ago. I want to get this date in everyone's head. November 14th. November 14th, right here at AW over at FG Clark Activity Center. It's the biggest opponent. I've been here since 2001. The biggest opponent ever to come to the FG Clark Activity Center. The Oregon Lady Ducks will be here. So we want everyone to show the Lady Jags support. We want to fill that FG Clark Activity Center.
We do, Chris. We're going to need everyone's support. They're going to be one of the top 20 teams in the country right now. I think that they're ranked number 18, and they're probably going to move up. They have a tremendous program, and it's an honor to be able to get them to come here to the campus. We're doing something in conjunction with the Pac-12. It's a SWAC Pac-12 challenge, and this year Oregon is coming to us. Next year we return that game, but it's going to be huge for us.
That's the biggest opponent I've ever seen here at Southern since 01. That's going to be incredible.
You know, this is my 17th year here, my 5th as head coach. And again, like you said, this is going to be the highest ranked opponent that we've had here on our campus.
In SWAC play, it's always big in paint. How do we look for in the paint? I know you're constantly always bringing in new players. How are we going to look in the paint this year?
Well, you know, we went 11-7 in the conference this year. We're returning 11 players, 4 of which are starters. Amanda McWayne, she was our leading scorer at 11 points a game, along with Genovia Johnson. We're going to have Raven White. She'll be back, our starting center. We have both our point guards back. Both of them kind of split time. But I think we have a really, really experienced team this year. I thought we had a lot of talent last year, but this year we have a lot more experience. Those young ladies didn't have a lot of games under their belt. But this year I think that's going to change. like you just asked about the big girls in the middle. We had two freshmen, 6'4" young ladies, Tiana Lidge and Zalise Harrison. Both of those young ladies were coming straight out of high school and they were asked to play with no experience. But they did a good job. So I think we're going to address some of our needs in that painted area this year with the bigs and with experience more so than anything. Now we did sign 3 young ladies. We have Sky Castro. We just signed her a couple of days ago. She's about 6'2". She's a rebounding machine. She can run the floor. She's going to help us scoring wise. We had Taylor Williams from transfer from Bethune-Cookman and Kiana Morgan, who's transferring from Radford University. So I feel really good about the young ladies that we have coming back, along with the ones that we have coming in this year. So we should be really strong.
And one of the things every coach will tell you they want, and as successful as you can be, is if you can have depth, and you've always had depth on your team.
Yes, the way we play and the style of basketball that we try to play, you have to have at least 10 to 11 players that you can put on the floor at any time and feel comfortable. You know, a lot of times when we go to our bench, we're coming in with a better player that started the game, or they're better in certain areas. So, you know, I'm a big believer in having a balanced team and a deep team and being able to wear other teams down. So when other teams go to their bench and they might get a little weaker, we might get a little stronger. So, you know, that's always been my philosophy, along with having good kids.
The alumni are, of course, here in the building, and they're watching online, Facebook, and YouTube as well. What are your needs from the alumni for your sport?
Well, Chris, I can truly say that A.D. Banks, Coach Banks, has provided us with everything that we need. Not just everything that we need, but pretty much everything that we wanted. Anything I've ever needed and gone to him and asked for, he has provided. Now, one thing he did mention was the cost of attendance. That's becoming a bigger and bigger factor for everyone when it comes to recruiting, even in our league. You know, the top teams in our league have started giving that cost of attendance, and that's going to tip the scales, you know, when it comes to the recruiting aspect. But that cost of attendance, not just for women's basketball, but for our entire athletic department, is going to be a major factor when it comes down to us recruiting against a UL or us recruiting against a Jackson State, when they are giving those extra funds to these young ladies.
Coach, thank you so much. Carlos Funches, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, alumni. We appreciate it.
All right, we bring the tennis coach, Jeff Championship Conyers, in the house this afternoon. Hey, Coach Conyers, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Good morning, Jaguars here and Jaguar Nation's looking on via Zoom, and congratulations from the athletic department to the newly elected officials of the Southern University Alumni Association. Congratulations.
Yeah. This guy is always happy. I don't think he's in a bad mood ever. He'd come to work always whistling. I'm hearing whistling sounds. Is that a bird that got in the F.G. Clark Activity Center? No, it's Jeff Conyers. Rides his bike also to work. You'll be 100 years old riding your bike, man.
Yes, sir. I like to get a little exercise on this beautiful campus.
Unbelievable. Well, what do we look for as the tennis season comes this year?
Looking for some great things. This will be my 20th season as the head coach of the Southern University tennis team. So we're looking for some great things this season. A lot of rebuilding going on right now, and one of the things that we're doing right now with Coach Banks' help, Ms. Sturgis' help, is trying to bring back the men's tennis program. So this year we'll be going out doing a year recruiting, and then hopefully next season we'll be bringing back the men's team to represent Southern University Jaguar Nation as well.
If you kept this guy right now, he'd bleed Columbia blue and gold. He
That's
played
right.
here, graduated here.
Southern
and
University, 1999. I got my bachelor's and master's from the Southern University, so I do bleed blue and gold. Gold and blue.
Assistant coach, and now, of course, the head coach. It's just incredible. Has it felt like it's gone that long?
It doesn't. You know, it seems like just yesterday I started, but every now and then I see some of my students, and I say, man, I've been here a long time.
What do you need? What are your needs from the alumni? What would you like to tell the alumni?
Well, definitely with Madam First Vice President's question, definitely we'd like to ask the alumni to support the our Jaguar fundraising event that Coach Banks puts on every year. I can't think of the name of it right now. Jagathon. We ask that you, each year Coach Banks puts a goal set towards the Jagathon each year. We've met that goal each season. So definitely this year, I think Coach Banks will be raising the asking a little bit this year. So we ask that you all, when you go back home, to publicize and get all your chapters on board, helping with the Jagathon again next year when that comes. So please stay in tune with that and also with other events that the athletic department puts on this year.
Coach Conyers, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, one more coach to bring up here. Coach Barry Doyle, the bowling coach. This year, his first season as bowling coach. The last season where they finished third place in the regular season and second place, they made it to the championship in the SUAF. Your first year as head coach, it was pretty impressive. Yeah, give him a round of applause. That's unbelievable.
Thank you.
And this year, you know what he told me as soon as I asked him how his day was going? We're going to win it all this year.
We are, last year I brought in 4 freshmen. I said we were going to have the freshman of the year. She was from Jackson, Mississippi. And this year we got a young lady from Hammond this year. She just won the high school national championship, and I'm going to say it now, she's going to be the freshman of the year this year.
Wow, and look, take a good look at him, because if you ever see this guy around Don lanes, bowling lanes, or what have you, and he says, do you want to bowl against me or whatever, don't ever do it. I think 10 perfect games this guy has bowled, is that correct?
36.
36, just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. How do we look this year? You told about the freshman coming from Hammond, Louisiana, and she's currently competing right now, maybe on the USA team, right?
She's at a tournament called Team Masters in Michigan. You only get one. Everybody has one ball. They don't get to throw any other different balls. But I think the winner of this tournament gets to be on the Team USA team. So she's competing and she's pretty good.
Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. So how do we look as far as the rest of the team goes going in this year? Is there more pressure in you that you finished second place last year in the conference? And is there more pressure this year to win it all?
Well, I mean, I don't really feel any pressure. I had a young team last year. We were having fun. I brought back, everyone came back. I had no seniors last year. Of course, I have 3 this year. I'm also bringing in, like I said, the new freshmen. I got a transfer in. We're pretty strong. The girls are hungry. They've been working all summer. I hope you saw us on ESPN. We were on in April. Been playing all summer. Southern University in the SWAC championship, and that's our goal again next year, to get on in the SWAC championship on ESPN and win it. And this team is strong, and the girls are they can't wait to get back to campus to get ready.
That's awesome. He's going to teach me how to do a curve, how they do that curve that perfectly goes in. My curve usually goes 3 lanes over. But thank you, Coach Doyle, for being here. His second season coming up for the Lady Jags bowling team. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, alumni.
You got a question? Got a question?
Morning, Coach. I'm from New Iberia, and we have a little paper called the Daily Iberian. And man, you hardly get any news about Southern University. And about a week ago, it was something about 2 of your players academically or grade or something.
Right. Jalen Rogers, a freshman, that was a freshman of the year, and Kelsey Quinney from Dallas, Texas. They both were all academic in the NTCA, which is the National 10-Pin Collegiate Association of Bowling.
I just wanted you to mention that. That was awesome. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, both those young ladies had 3.7 and 3.6.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Marlon Hollins, come on up here, my friend. Marlon Hollins, of course, Associate AD and what have you. And I can't, come over right here. I can tell you what, he's got so many titles. His business card looks like an index card. Tell us all your titles, my friend.
Want Floyd to go first? Cheerleader coach, that's
Oh, he just walked in. Come on in. Yeah, I didn't see
him
him. Boy, he snuck behind me back there. Coach Science, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, this is going to be your second season already, right?
Correct. This is going into my second season. Yes.
How many how many of the cheerleaders make the squad?
So I don't have a set number. We just set and pick off based on what we want. Right now, we currently have 32.
Unbelievable, and tremendous athletes too, by the way.
Absolutely.
How is their regimen all season long to get ready to be a cheer?
It's a all season long thing. We practice year round. Virtually, we do a lot of meetings where they get stuff sent out to them. They do practices 3 times a day once they come back, which starts on Tuesday. But just this summer, the team was able to work with over 300 kids throughout the summer from Chicago, LA. Where else did we go? We actually just got back from Chicago this morning.
Wow.
Like our flight was delayed, so we got back at like 2 o'clock this morning. So that's why I had to sleep a little bit.
Now, what are the needs for cheerleading? Because they have to have equipment just like everybody else.
Correct. Yeah, we always have needs: practice wear, palms, megaphones, things like that. But the most important thing that we need is like support. And when I say support, I'm not always talking about financial. Just literal support. Like when we're in the crowd and we're cheering, cheer with us. Give that, make that experience even better for everyone in the audience. You know, we integrated signs this last season so the crowd can kind of understand what's going on. So when we put up the signs that say "Get Loud, Jags," we're trying to tell you, get loud. Like, let's make some noise. Let's cheer our boys on. Let's cheer our girls on. We have signs that say like gold and yellow and Southern U. Like when you see it, just follow along with us. Like let's enhance the experience and really go back to what cheerleading is about, and that's leading the crowd.
Right, and you make every game for football, right?
Yes, we make every game.
As he winks back there with AD. So every game in football, and then also you're in basketball games, and volleyball games.
We do basketball. We're going to add volleyball this year.
All right, Coach Jacob like that.
We are going to add volleyball to our schedule. Yeah, so we do football games, basketball games, now volleyball games. We do appearances. We do AD's talk show. We're everywhere. We do school visits this morning. So 2 of us flew in, myself and 2 of them flew in from Chicago this morning. 4 other ones was at a school because they have a theme about sports, so they needed cheerleaders to greet the little kids. So like we're always going somewhere.
And always representing Southern University well.
We try to be, we're the brand ambassadors, we're the spirit ambassadors.
That's right. Well, you snuck in great. I mean, you're teaching that team. You just snuck in like this. Did you come in from the ceiling or from the floor?
Some people say I fell out of heaven.
Thank you so much, Coach Sias, right here.
Can we say something about Orlando in the first home game?
Yes, on the first, as you all know, we lost one of our cheerleaders at the end of last year, Elena Miller, and we have had talks about a memorial for her and things like that. But AD and I talked about it, and we decided that the best way to memorialize her is the first home game. So we will have things planned for her at the first home game. Her mom's coming down. And we're also her mom started a scholarship fund, the Arlena Miller Scholarship Fund, and it is specifically for cheerleaders. It's done really great this year. So that's this is it's a subject that we try not to talk about a lot because it's still really fresh to us and the wound is still there. And just as far as the team goes, just want everybody to know that the team is doing okay. The kids are fine. We talk daily. Some of them have talked to the therapist that the school and the department has provided, and some people have also talked to their own personal therapist. But then we also do a lot of just like group therapy together and just really talk to each other and just make sure that everyone's okay.
It touched so many people, both not only at Southern University, but all around the SUAF and the nation. That was so sad. Our hearts and prayers go out to our family and to the family here at Southern University.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, no problem about that. Thank you, Coach. Again. All right. Now, Marlon, come on by. As we mentioned, so many titles. Tell everybody your titles now at Southern University. He has to look on his cell phone to see it.
I did make some notes because I wanted to make sure I covered everything. But good evening, Jaguars, in person and virtually. I'm Marlon Hollins, Dr. Marlon Hollins, Assistant Athletic Director of Advancement. I lead the department's marketing, community engagement, and development, which is fundraising. So we put the fun in raising funds.
All right, cool deal. And I know that, one of the things that I look at when I go places, to the airport, to Walmart, to wherever we may go, we want to see more Southern University merchandise with there.
Yes.
And that continues to grow. I'm seeing more and more. Even if you go on Amazon.com, you can now see merchandise from Southern University.
Yeah, so the merchandise part is big for us. One thing you know about Southern University, we are all here. We know the brand promise. The brand promise of the athletic department is to deliver equity, equality, access, and opportunity to all student athletes. So when we start thinking of the funding mix, we get so much funding from students, we get awesome alumni support, but we do want to ask for more support because when we look at the numbers, only 11% of HBCU alumni give back holistically. So how many give back to the actual sports team? And I like to say that we're the heartbeat of the university. But when we think about branding, we want to continue to establish that brand, not only in Baton Rouge and Louisiana and local South states, but throughout the nation and the country. I made this reference not long ago. I was visiting Dubai and I saw Raising Cane's in Dubai. The Raising Cane's in Dubai had Southern branding. So when we think of the internationally known brand and giving access to the fans who are here now and the future fans, we have to be ahead of the merchandise. We have to have our cheerleaders, our bowling team, our tennis team, basketball. Everyone need proper apparel. Everyone need proper recognition. So when you're in the airport, like you mentioned, we not only want you to see the billboard, we want to see the shirt, the hat, the windsuits, the socks, the shoes, everything fully Southern branded, so we can be walking billboards throughout the country and the nation.
No question about that. Since I've been here since '01 doing football, I've been at the Denver airport, Chicago airport, and I have a Southern shirt on, and people come to me. I went to Southern University. It's amazing how big and boisterous that the alumni is.
Yes, so when I was talking about the brand promise and what we like to deliver on, equity, access, and opportunity. But when you think about the brand awareness, when you put that S on your chest, the band talk about the S on your chest, and we talk about SU. So when you put the full Southern University brand on your chest, you represent so many people. You represent the people who came before you, the people who are yet to come, but also ultimately yourself, because our degrees, our name, when we say we went to Southern University, we like to wear it with pride, but we want to make sure everyone else recognizes it. So when we start adding things like team shirts, shakers, fans, other trinkets, it further establishes the brand, but it also, again, add the fun and the fundraising. So we're able to get some of those revenue dollars back to the department so we can do things like cost of attendance to make it an even playing ground around all sports, not even in the state, because again, we want to compete against everybody.
Question about that, and it's so important too, is you've got all of events coming up. You do the events for football, for all the games and what have you. Where can people look at events that are coming up for the sporting events?
Yeah, so our social media platforms are tremendously. We have 67,000 cumulative followers between Facebook, which is at Southern U Jaguars, Instagram and Twitter, which is at Southern U Sports, but you can follow all of our teams branded similarly, Southern U _football, _BB, tennis. We have a lot of different social media pages for that. So to follow the fundraising ideas for everything athletics, Southern U Sports, social media, Go Jag Sports website, but also we do a lot of things. And I'm glad, thank you Instagram, shout out to you guys for allowing the co-collaboration tag, so you can visit our team pages too, so we want to fund traffic to them. But also just stay tuned. Our coaches, our athletes, the Alumni Federation, the chapters are all brand ambassadors. So when we start to pile things in or how we're building up this year, we know we have the game day block party. We have new initiatives like the Jaguar Sports Network, which brings Southern University athletics to your living room. Most of us have Roku features on your TV, a free app download. Go download Jaguar Sports Network. Also on Amazon Fire, download Jaguar Sports Network because it's everything athletics from inside looking to our games. We've been talking in our senior staff meetings, and I haven't introduced it to the coaches yet. I talked to Coach Dooley about it, but we're going to do some in-game, how they have YouTube and podcast series. We're going to do series for each team. So football, we'll be talking to like alum Sean Woods and current players and doing end-zone and end-zone segments. So taking you through what it means when you cross the hump and say, I'm on the yard or on the bluff.
Awesome deal. Marlon, thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
All right. I want to bring in Athletic Director Roman Banks back up here because any questions we didn't, if you have any questions out there, there's always a rhyme and reason about some things that are done and some questions that you may have, like a lot of the people ask about the Jackson State game coming up in a couple of years will be in Birmingham, Alabama. There's a rhyme and a reason for that, and it's simply, I'll let him answer that, but there's some questions that you want to ask the alumni. We're going to pass the microphone around so you can ask questions for Athletic Director Roman Banks.
Coach, I would like to ask you about your track program. You know what I mean? Southern, well, I'm going way back. We were world renowned for track and field. Now it's like non-existent. But you know, a lot of alumnus are wondering what about the track program. I mean, we don't have a
Yeah, let me speak with that. So, I try to move forward, but you have to understand the past to move forward. So, I guess the reason why I'm sitting in this seat, as you know, we went on this unusual data ban and a lot of things happened, right? When we taken away scholarships and all those things. And so track program really got hurt very badly because they were penalized with scholarships, just like most of these sports right now. And track is what you call an Olympic sport, and we call, quote and unquote, unrevenue sport. And so, in my opinion, has really taken a long period of time to get track going again. This is the first year that each coach can actually say that we are going in with scholarships. Everybody's fully funded because we got off our probationary period. And so I try not to talk about that anymore because I want to move forward. And also, if you know that you have to have facilities to recruit as well. And the only way that we can generate other revenue in track is to have track meets. You know, the AAU state meets, bring back the Pelican Relay was high on our agenda. And so, as you've seen this year, this probably was our best year in track because we ended up getting most of our scholarships back and all our teams were eligible for postseason play. Nobody want to come to your institution if they can't play for the championship, and basically that's what you had in track. And so I'm very excited about our track team moving forward. We think that we have a couple of individual athletes that have placed very well and had some to go to nationals. And so the investment now, this $1.2 million investment in this track that you see them renovating, that should be ready by the second game of football season, is going to give us the opportunity to do just what we want to do, recruit student athletes, and also to start, we have a regulation track now where we can go out and bid for different tournaments. And so we're thinking about making this investment. In return, we invest back into our program, and our program, in my estimation, then should come back to be one of the premier programs that Southern University have ever had. And so we are challenging ourselves just for that right. We went and added, we've been able to fund, they only had 2 coaches, and now they have 4 coaches in their program. They actually have the most athletes. We talk about football all the time, but they actually have the most athletes. And so now we have the ratio of student athletes to coaches that we need, and we have the particular coaches, and now we have the facilities. And so I look forward where I can come back and report that, and you will see this year how our track programs improve.
Any other questions?
I
We
think,
have the AD all to ourselves.
Let me clear up the Jackson State game. So the Jackson State game will be in Jackson this year. Okay, but we talked earlier about how adding these teams, the East and the West, teams will roll off your schedule. So Jackson State is rolling off our schedule for 2 years at the end of this season. And so basically what you had was that Southern and Jackson was not going to play for 2 years. So there would have been no game, but obviously that's a big historical game for us. And I think that's what Chris Powell was talking about earlier about those type of games actually rolling off our schedule. What are we going to do? And so we could not all agree to agree because the dates didn't work out to play home and home again. And so because of this rolling off, the SUAF office stepped in and they helped us find sponsors and a location for the game that will pay us well, that we all can agree on. And that happened to be Birmingham, Alabama, where the SUAF office is at. That's the reason why the game will be there for 2 years, and then they roll back on the schedule, then it'll be our home game. And so you may see that happening as it relates to some teams that we play historically have been big rivalry games that we have to figure this out going forward. So that's what you see with the Jackson State game. You got a couple in the back.
Stanley White, Vice President of the Arizona chapter, also Director of the Sons and Daughters Special Project Team Pond. My question is, I've heard a lot of chatter, noise, talk about the Southern University LSU game and about the Grambling State LSU game. And in the chatter and noise, some people are saying it's kind of a money game or blood game, and there's some concern about our players getting injured, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Could you elaborate on that subject with regards to blood game, money game, the thought process, what we hope to achieve and accomplish and get out of the game, and how we're going to keep our athletes safe, get them prepared, et cetera?
Yeah, so, I'll speak to that. So this is a game that our student athletes are looking forward to. We probably, us, Grambling, I think Nicholls State are the only teams in the state that have not had the opportunity to play LSU. And our student athletes want the same right. But also, we have probably about 12 or 15 guys from the Power 5 level as well on our team right now. And so if we talking about having those type of guys, we don't have as many, but we talking about going out there to compete. And you all just sit here and we're talking about the question of, are we gonna go to that level at some point? And if we're gonna go to that level, guess who we're gonna be playing? We talking about as a conference in the next 5 years being at that level, in which that does change the game for us because of the money that's guaranteed back when you go to the Power 5 level, right? And so we need to get in the conversation about preparing ourselves to be as good as. Now we know that we might, that's a challenge. You're talking about LSU, the flagship school, you're talking about the Alabamas, but UL Monroe just played them very well last year. And so in my estimation, UL Monroe, we should be just as good as them moving forward. And so if we're gonna talk about players wanna come to Southern, they wanna play those type of games. And we talk about this transfer portal, coach got the day to sell these kids because they all think that they can play at a certain level. And our kids also believe that this is a great opportunity for them. And so we need to, I don't really understand, and I know people talk, oh, they're gonna beat us up, they're gonna hurt us, and those things. But we have players that actually done transfer from there talking about playing for Southern University. So we have to change our mindset if we're gonna grow into this new wave of athletics about where we need to be and where we're going. And for us, our next move from a conference is to be bowl eligible, and that's the Power 5 of the next 5. So you talk about in 3 years or 4 years, we are trying to get the facilities like Tulane and Lafayette and those people that play with LSU all the time. We need to be thinking that way, and that's the reason why we're engaging into these games. And plus, it's a historic game and other reasons behind it, but we're trying to grow ourselves to that point. I mean, the money, it's a game. I mean, they pay us well, and they pay everybody well. But if we leaving another $500,000 to another $1 million on the table because we are not FBS. And so when we go to that level, instead of us getting the money that we're getting, we'll be getting double the money in a lot of ways in distribution back from the conferences. And so we're talking about how we're going to improve ourselves. We know that's the way we're going to improve ourselves.
So, hey, Coach, I had a question about the track field. I know that there is, you're going to be redoing the field. Is there a timeline?
Yeah, so we kind of got behind on the timeline. We had to work through some things through the state, and we were hoping that, and with the rain, we were hoping that it'd be finished for the first game. But they're telling us they know for certain that by the time we come back for our second home contest, that it'll be finished.
Any other questions?
So I want to say this, and I'm not the one. I always say that we have events to ask people for money. I just don't like coming up here asking people for money. I say it all the time. I'm from the Baptist church, and like Bishop said, live in faith. If you tithe right and get your money right, you ain't got to ask for no money, right? And so our tithing is simply, my pledge is to ask everybody to buy a season ticket. If you buy a season ticket, and I know most of you all in here personally are season ticket holders, but I'm asking you to go back to your chapters and ask everybody in your chapter to buy a season ticket or a couple of tickets. So let me go back and give you an example. Everybody calling us about LSU. Well, LSU not doing us right. We don't have any seating. We only had 2,000 seats that they gave us, in section 100. Everything else is in 600. People calling me, well, do they have any suites available? We want to buy suites. The answer is no. It's a sellout already. You know why it's a sellout? Because the season ticket holders have bought all the seats, right? And so they know what their budget look like. They know what they have to take care of for their student athletes. And then when they support the other extracurricular activities, it's even better. And so I'm asking now, how much it is for a volleyball game? $5. A season ticket for a volleyball is no more than $60. All right? And so I'm asking everybody, the lowest ticket in our stadium in the end zone for football is like $20. The highest ticket is $40. And so I'm asking for that commitment from everyone. I like to look at that and say, right now, I think when I last checked, we've been growing every year. When I came in, we was at 4,300, something like that. Now we're at almost at 7,000 season ticket holders. In Coach Richardson days, it used to be 12,000 right out the gates. All right? But I'm asking right now, the way that you all can help athletics, they look back and say, well, Coach Banks is helping us, we have conversations. And the reason why I help them and can help them is because you all have been answering the bell. And then when we do different fundraisers, the helmet campaigns and all those things, you all help. And I'm very appreciative. But to be honest with you, I need a little bit more help. I need to get to the point where our stadium is 90% sold out before we even open up tickets. That means season ticket holders. And just think about it. If we can get everybody in the chapter to commit, in all our alumni chapters, commit not to buy two, just one tickets, that'll sell us out, whether you come to the game or not. And not to mention how large our alumni base is across the country, what we could do. So if we imagine doing that, and so if you imagine doing that and we sell it out, and we concerned about us playing LSU and all these teams like that, it gets to a point where we don't even have to do that. We can call our own shots and try to play classics. And so selling that ticket means a lot. And so I'm going to ask y'all, for us to continue to grow, that you all purchase these season tickets, because we only have season tickets really for football, basketball, and baseball, and we just started volleyball. And we're doing a special. If you buy a season ticket for football, you get baseball and basketball just for $100. All right? And so I'm asking that if you all can do that, that'll mean a lot where we can continue to help ourselves up here. Because these coaches get up every morning, come to work, they don't complain. We know we have a lot. They can sit here and we sit around the table all the time. They didn't come in and say, I need this, I need that. I know what they need. I heard the band director say what they need. I heard them talk about their buildings. I know the state of our buildings, but we're not going to get here and talk about that. We know what we need to correct. All right? And we're going to work hard to correct it. That field was that track was done with outside money. And so, to be honest with you, we know our budget don't take care of a lot of these things. But if we're going to be about who we're going to be, I always talk about Southern being the standard, bringing back that old Southern. And I think that we had a team of coaches do it, and they don't complain, and we've been good, and we're going to continue to get better. We're going to need that investment because we're going to get behind. Southern used to be at the top. Right now, we're somewhere in the middle budget-wise in the conference. But if we're gonna move back up, we're talking about a cost of attendance, about 4 teams that's doing that. That means when Coach Dooley sit in somebody's house and tell your child, hey, come to Southern, I'm gonna give you a scholarship, and Jackson State go in there and say, hey, come to Jackson, I'm gonna give you a scholarship, but you're gonna get $2 extra thousand each semester, where they gonna go? So this is what we're facing. So until we're able to get to that point, there are gonna be challenges. And you can't have expectations if you're not helping the coaches meet those expectations they need to challenge people with. All right? So I just want to have that for real conversation. You all know I'm very transparent. All right? And the coaches say that we do a lot of things, that we have everything we need. We're going to make do, but I know they need more. They know they need more, and we are thankful for what you've done. A lot of people just invested. We got the new helmets. People invest into the new helmets. We're thankful for that. But there's a lot of things that need to be done. And guess what? We got several coaches that's not here. We got a Title IX project that we got. Soccer didn't have a locker room when I got here. That's another $75,000 that we're trying to raise to get them a locker room. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to ask y'all to support the season tickets and do those things, and then we'll make it happen.
Yeah, one thing I want to add to that too, Coach. I've been doing this announcing since 2001, and when I go on the road for football, I'm looking at UAPB, biggest attendance, Southern University. I'm looking at Bayou Classic. I'm looking at more Southern fans than sometimes Grambling fans. We go on the road to Jackson, Mississippi, and that stadium is full. We went to New Mexico State. Southern, for the little school that Southern is, travels maybe more than some Division I schools do.
Correct.
Like 20,000. But understand this, and Coach, this is what you and I have talked about a long time. That's all fine that we look and we show in Arlington, Texas, that we've got a big Colombian blue sea all over the place, and we're bigger than Texas Southern. But the problem is Southern University doesn't get any money from that.
Don't get a dime when we travel the road. We talk about Jaguar Nation, that's fine, and that's part of who we are. But that money, when you travel and go to those other universities, it don't come to us. And then we bring more people to those games than we have coming to our own games.
Okay, Coach. I'm always buy season tickets for I always buy season tickets for the needed kids.
That's
but
right.
This year, I'm gonna donate $500 to you for the athletics department for whatever you want to do with it.
I appreciate it, Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington always come by, leave a check. He buy a lot of tickets. He get the tickets and he say, hey, those are for you all to give out. And that's what we do with the extra tickets. We're able to go out and give to the needy kids, bring groups in, and that's what we do with the extra tickets. So we certainly appreciate everything you do. And I will have your posters. Every year we got to get you your posters. We have all your posters.
And I have one other question. I was in South Africa, sir, and I was at the top of the mountain in South Africa, and the guy said, hello, Jag. I said, what? Then I was getting on the airline on Delta going to South Africa. They would say, have a good trip, Delta. The airlines to everybody. So I really enjoyed my trip.
All right, good.
So thank you.
All right.
Got a couple more questions. I see the hands. Getting my exercise in the day.
Hello, good morning. How you doing? Gerald Banks. Me and my wife been season ticket holders for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been tailgating for almost 10 years. When we started tailgating, they were selling tailgate spots for $100. Now, last couple of years, they went up to $200-300 for a little spot. Now, over 20 years, we don't have no parking spot. They haven't got the parking spot together and the tailgate spot together. How much the tailgate spot is gonna be, and where can a season ticket holder over 20 years could park without getting their car towed?
So kind of break it down to me. I know there's a lot going on. So you're a season ticket holder. Their parking come with your season tickets.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
We're
so
trying
that's,
to get that every year, but parking spots already sold out.
I can tell you what happened. I can tell you what happened with that part, then we'll move to the next.
All right.
Without being there, but Aretha's not here. So basically, we sold, see the older, who had season tickets longer, right? Parking came with their stuff. And we haven't been able to create that season pass for new season ticket holders or season ticket holders that came later. parking is an issue on campus for games. And so we're still trying to figure that out. You probably seen us talk about that parking garage, but that might not come during my time.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so we actually are trying to accommodate. Parking is our biggest problem, right? Because a lot of people like to come. I say all the time, if we could charge for parking, private parking, we'll make more money because we got more people want to come park and tailgate than to go in the stadium. And so we are actually trying to find parking. But go on to your next question.
Okay, the parking and then the tailgate. Oh. All right, now the tailgate spot, they start off at $100. Now they went up to $250. But now with the tailgate spot, I don't have no problem because I'm a member of the Southern University Home Chapter. So the Southern University Home Chapter in the Federation, we already have a tailgate spot right there in front of the Union. But like before I got with the alumni chapter, we used to tailgate by the band room and across from the Stewart Hall, and we used to pay $100 per game. But now they jumped up to $250 per game. So me and my wife, instead of going to we just go with the alumni, pay our dues. We pay our dues for the alumni chapter federation, and then every home game, the alumni, we have a tailgate over there. So any alumni members, you're also welcome. If you're not an alumni member, you're still welcome to come tailgate with us. They have a table set up, everybody with $10 now. It might go up, inflation's going up, in the recession, it might be $20 now, I don't know. But we have a nice little tailgate over there. But the park, we got to worry about.
So parking, you can't get there. So that would mean that you'll have the general park.
Yeah,
for that point, you can't get there if I'm hearing you correctly, which is correct.
Yeah.
They do have a tailgate area. We work with them in different groups to make sure they have spots for alumni, and actually the band have spots that we don't bother. But you can't get to that spot because you don't have that parking permit. And so at that point, you have to buy the general parking and go to that area.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, a few more questions.
Coach, I'm a former, I was recruited by Southern Football. Let me tell you, I'm in the New Orleans chapter. One of the main reasons why we don't have attendance is, I'll just share something with you from my former teammates and other people. They're not going to come watch Florida Memorial. They're not going to come watch Virginia Lynchburg. You do better to play Tuskegee or any HBCs. They're not going to watch Northwestern. They're not going to watch ULL. They're not going to watch any of those teams. First of all, HBCUs, the band is an extension of the football game. So just, for in the future, when you look at the plan, I think, and a lot of former alumnus and former players, there's certain games they just not coming to. So you got to keep that in mind. I know, and like LSU, I mean, that money game, they not gonna watch that neither. But that's just the way your people are. I'm talking about the people who attend Southern University football games. At the time when Coach Richardson and all of them were playing, you look at the schedule, who was on that schedule.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
let you know.
So, no, I certainly agree with that, but times have changed in scheduling, right? And so with the new format of the schedule is that you can see with the teams that we have that the scheduling have different open dates. And so you can't schedule the way you used to schedule 10 years ago. All right, and so that has changed gaps into the schedule. Now we're trying to fulfill our schedule for 5 years, and that's gonna change. And so, but it still depends on what's open and who we can play at that particular time. And also, we also want to give the coach a chance where he can get his team play and work through some kinks as well. And so, and you also have to remember, and I know back when you say back in your day, and I used to share this with my dad, that a lot of those schools are not, a lot of those schools, those same schools don't have the same teams anymore. They not even Division I where we are either, and some of them have dropped. But here go back to the original punchline of what I'm saying. after we all understand that we have a conversation how scheduling change and what we all like to see. But the mere fact of you might not come to every game, but the mere fact of buying that season ticket and supporting these student athletes, you got tickets for the year. You choose to come to what game you want to come to, but it still go back. If you buy that one season book or that season book, it still come back to help us to get to where we need to get to as it relates to growing our athletic department, taking care of these student athletes.
Well, let me just say this. Every game we bring a busload from New Orleans. Every Bayou Classic, me personally, I buy 20 tickets and donate to students, but my chapter buys 50 tickets for the Bayou Classic, even though they're in the bird seats, but we do that every game. And homecoming, even though they may not be able to get in, but we purchase tickets and buses from New Orleans to bring here. And I'm really telling you, it's more like they going against the schedule that you're putting together. I'm just letting you know. That's the reason why you can't get that stadium field, because they definitely not going to see. They don't want to see you.
I can't, and with that being said, and respectfully, you had FAM, Jackson State, Alcorn, all those people here last year, you got the same result. Now that we have to travel to them this year, that changes things, right? But when you still, last year, the schedule was loaded basically with those games except one team.
Well, and then another thing, if we get out, the schedule's out a little early now.
Yeah.
But, because a lot of times people have to plan for that, But really, that's the reason why you don't have attendance. They'll come to an HBCU game. They don't want to watch McNeese, Nichols. When you put those teams on the schedule, they're not going to bring anything. So they rebelling against you, really. They really are. I'm letting you know.
Yeah, but and I appreciate that, because we talk about that all the time, and I'm just telling you from a business perspective. If when it comes down to recruiting, you seen McNeese on there maybe a year or so ago. When you seen the McNeese on there, and the reason why I was kind of upset because we lost the game is because that's who we recruit against. And coach needs to try to win that game, because those are the same type of when we go into them homes. So it's all about we have to be able to tell our story and be able to talk about where we going, not just in football, but all these different programs, so we can have a leg up, because once upon a time, McNeese was beating us to every kid that there were. So we have to prove ourselves and have that rivalry game to beat them, so we can grow our program to where we want to be. And so I understand the historical practice you're talking about, and we try to play as much of that as possible, depending on the schedule and opportunity. Like I told you, we weren't going to even play Jackson. The conference have changed, and there are going to be some things that's going to change. It's not going to be the same. And so, but at the end of the story, the moral of the story to me is about still being a season ticket holder if you can, and I appreciate everything you've done. And I know that you're supporting y'all brain groups, right? And so I'm not discrediting that. But I'm saying at the end of the day, if we can get more people, it's not about who they playing, right? It's not about LSU, not about them playing Southern. They bought the season tickets anyway. And so I'm saying if we can buy the season tickets, that's all I'm asking, to help them and to help me to help my coaches. All right? And if we can get people to buy that and make a commitment of that $200, instead of me asking you, give me 200, give me 200, 200. Buy the tickets, and I'm good. Whether you come to the game or not, we know that we have that when we start counting our budget.
All right, I think that's it for the athletic part of the banquet today. Thank you very much.
Y'all show some love to our coaches. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we appreciate everyone that's on virtually with us. So this is our last segment. And thank you for being open to this concept. Typically, we call it Coach's Corner. We call it the Jukebox Jam. We all kind of branding. But we wanted to make it a little bit more interactive this year. So we appreciate
though we are virtual, everyone out there listening, we know they're listening because I'm getting text messages and different things. So we appreciate the feedback. Thank you to everyone that's here locally that made the trip in, from various places across the country. And we certainly want to show love to our alumni band. They came because I called, and they showed out. And our 2 dolls, alumni dolls, forever dolls. We really appreciate everyone. So this is really our final segment, and just want to, before we
Can I say before we close, once again, I want to personally thank everyone, all the alumni across the country for what you all do. You already always answer the bell, but I personally want to thank you, Laquita, for these couple of years that you've been serving. You really have been there for athletics. Every time I look around, she's always there. I call her that she works in the athletic department, but I know everybody feel that same way. And we recognize the new leadership, and we look forward to working with Carlton in the new leadership. And congratulations to you all. But I personally want to say that has been great. Anytime we called on you, you organized local chapters to take care of these teams. And we really look for the continued effort, but we're going to miss you and love you. And I know we're going to keep seeing you around. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I guess if this PI thing doesn't work out for the next, I'm on, almost 29 years there, I'll come work on your staff. So, but with that being said, I don't know if there are any announcements, outgoing board, incoming board, anything that we want to share, convey before we wrap. Lower season. Oh, okay. So just a friendly reminder that the lowest in terms of cost season ticket is $87. So just want to make sure everyone knows that it's affordable, it's workable, and we're excited to be able to support all of these sports. And I think we have another announcement from our incoming national president.
It's not an announcement. I just want to acknowledge what Coach Brake brought up about you, Laquita, and your work specifically with the athletics. I mean, you've really been on board. And I remember going to visit chapters, but it was your inspiration that got them involved in helping with athletics. And for the past 4 or 5 years, you've always done the best with athletics, with the band. And that was one of your strong points. One of the things you always like doing is the highlight, and everybody know you love them. So I just really wanted to highlight that and really congratulate you on that work, and look forward to hoping you continue that, like Coach Frank said. I'm gonna lean on you for that, doing that again. But really thank you, Madam President, for that. And give her a round of applause too. She really did a good job.
I appreciate that. I thank you so much for that. So looking forward to the continued work. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna do a photo. And you all show some love because he's always in the back with his hat to the back. Florence has been with us for the last 3 days consistently. He's been early. And he has us looking really good out there on YouTube and on Facebook. And so, y'all give Florence a high five and maybe $5 so he can get something to eat today. Love you, Clore. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that's streaming with us today. This is the conclusion of our virtual alumni conference. Thank you to our NOCCI team. Thank you all. We know you traveled to be here with us. We can't wait. It's the experience, feel the power of the Bayou Classic. So we are no sleep weekend. That's what we're going to start calling it. And you let our friends know over at Exit 81 that we're ready. All right. Have a great rest of the weekend, everyone. Stay safe. COVID numbers are spiking, but we want everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, and last but not least, go Jags. All right, y'all.